Welcome back to Doubleheader Weekly Picks with Amir and Keenan. And when you know it, we have two more teams that couldn't spot in the playoffs and three more that have been eliminated. And also, special word from a familiar place called Springfield. That's what's coming up on this episode of Doubleheader Weekly Picks. So, folks, Week 14 is in the books, and of course, you see here, there's that button, the playoffs. Who's going to be in it? Who's going to be watching it? Well, from the looks of things from this past weekend, two teams can say have their playoff ticket ready. But three more, unfortunately, have to wait till next year. So, having said all that, let's start with our first game on the slate. Or, excuse me, well, recap first. We got our bye weeks. So, Houston, Indy, Washington, Denver. Y'all enjoy your week off. As for the Patriots and Ravens, I hope you were able to fix some things to get back to winning shape when you get on this Sunday, especially Baltimore. I know Patriots are already out of the playoffs, but you'll have some company. Anyway, let's start off with this revenge game in U.S. Bank Stadium. Falcons at Vikings. Excuse me.
Well. I did not expect this outcome to be at fruition. 42 to 21. Well, Amir, we picked correctly, and we both predicted that this game was going to be somewhat competitive.
It was for the first three quarters, and then out of nowhere, the Vikings offense came to life, and then they just outscored the Falcons thanks to Mr. Jordan Addison, who had the hat trick of 8 catches for 33 and three touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, who basically hadn't scored a touchdown over a month, according to the broadcast, like found twice on this past Sunday and had 7 catches for buck 32. And Sam Darnold, oh yeah, they were singing MVP at US Bank Stadium as he left the field. As you can see here, he had went 22 of 28 for 347 and 5 touchdown passes.
Wow, that's the impressive stat. And for Atlanta, I mean, this is their. I don't think they've won a game in quite some time.
Quite some time is right. Speaking of which, Mr. Cousins, you haven't thrown a touchdown pass in over a month now, and your return to U.S. Bank. Well, they weren't. Well, they were saying you like that, but that was for the guy who replaced you in Vikings colors. They were saying this.
Oh, you stink!
Oh yeah.
Well, it for Atlanta. I mean, they're 6-7, in a tight race with Tampa Bay right now, and basically all the NFC South teams are looking somewhat competitive all of a sudden.
Yes, they are, and Atlanta. This loss stings because yes, that's I saw the standings in NFC South, and it changed, and it didn't change in your favor. Not that you help yourselves out. But getting back to the home team, I don't know, or we didn't forget about this. Oh yeah, the fans, U.S. Bank Stadium, they like this. They they like what they saw from their offense, and also Byron Murphy with that amazing one-handed interception too.
Yep, I was able to see some of that, and Justin Jefferson did his theme. Sam Darnold did his theme. So I mean, if you're putting up 42 points uh, against an opponent, against any opponent, you must be doing something right.
Oh yes, you are, and also against this Falcons defense, I will say hasn't been. No, they were back not too long ago. They had only like 6 sacks in the season, so they were lacking the pass rush, and well, they couldn't get a pass rush late in the game, and so why their team walked out a loser again. And well, yeah, your quarterback, he's not throwing touchdown passes. He's thrown 9 interceptions since election day. So might be a change at quarterback in Atlanta. Might be.
I don't think so. I just think they gotta change the game plan because they're not they slipped, that's for sure. But if I mean whatever went wrong since that election day slate um has not worked.
No, it's not. But I will say whatever is working in Minnesota, that being Sam Darnold, keep it up, sir. Because again, they're taking MVP as you walk the field, and that was definitely an MVP worthy performance.
And I'll just say this about Minnesota before we move on. I think they can make a run at the Super Bowl.
Well, the record suggests that they can, but keep in mind they also in a very competitive division, and so we will see.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yep. So moving on from that revenge game, U.S. Bank Stadium, we move on to this low-scoring affair at MetLife Stadium. If anyone's tuned into this game,
Well, I was off by 2 points for the Saints and 5 points for the Giants. So I mean, I deserve a hip hip hooray for at least a little bit, at least one of those.
oh, oh yeah, you do. And also, if you like special teams, well, you're the same special teams. You deserve one, Mr. Brian Brees. Second time I called you out, sir. Well, you made a play, blocked the potential game time field goal from former Panther Graham Gano. Probably weren't. And also, speaking of Giant fans, they were yeah, they didn't really like what they saw on Sunday or all season for that matter. Look at that.
Yeah, and was it them wearing the bag over their head?
That was Jets fans, but then again, Giants fans, they are definitely wearing bags over their heads because, given what they've seen this year, and it's their 100th season overall as well.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. They're 100th season in the NFL, and they have 2 wins at this time, uh, or close to this time. The Panthers had 2 wins.
Um, they had one win at this time last year, but
Yeah,
yeah,
close to 2 wins.
yep. And oh, and not to mention the Giants, yeah, they haven't won a game at MetLife all year long, and this is your 100th year. You'd think they would have won at least 4 games at home, but not the case. Hence why planes were circling around MetLife Stadium saying, "Mr. Mara, enough! Please fix this dumpster fire." Well, I'll say this: while you were able to keep it competitive, it wasn't enough to avoid this. Yeah.
Charlie Brown made a cameo in this episode. Nothing wrong with that. But so close, but yet so far for New York. And out of all kickers, Graham Gano missing a golden opportunity. I did not have that on my bingo card.
No, and yeah, it didn't really help that his the Giants field goal team didn't well do a good job of blocking. Hence why fans were screaming, were groaning as after that kick got blocked. And oh yeah, speaking of Charlie Brown, this is played at MetLife Stadium, and guess who's the mascot?
Would it be it? It couldn't be Charlie Brown. No,
No, you got to think of a certain guy who lives in a red doghouse.
Snoopy.
Yep,
Oh, well, what do you know?
yep. Oh yeah. So yep. So Giants fans, yeah, there have been a lot of moans and groans this year. But as for the Saints, I know they were celebrating on Bourbon Street, seeing that block field goal, and also Kendra Miller first touchdown of the season. You know, it's not a big day offensively at MetLife Stadium, but got to give shout out to guys who finally reached the end zone and the special teams. So for Who Dat Nation, you deserve this.
Yeah, who that? Let's do who that,
Yeah,
and
who that?
yeah, who that, and yeah. I mean, kept it close but no cigar. If you are New York,
Yep. And also, Dan Rizzi was also a special teams coach, so this was a big win for him. He was happy to see that. Not so much with his punter early in the game, but the unit made up for it. Before we move on, I'm on a somber note for the Saints. They will be without Derek Carr for what looks like the remainder of the season due to a wrist injury.
yeah, that's tough to see because he just recently came back and looked pretty solid and until a wrist got him. And, yeah, prayers up for Derek Carr and I mean, it's gonna be a tough sledding. They're not mathematically out of it yet, so
Well, the Saints are still in it. I mean, and the division is, well, the NFC South. No one's running away with it. But so yeah, they're still alive, but it's going to be a tough sledding without the services of Derek Carr, Chris Olave, and Taysom Hill.
yeah, those are three big guys you need to have on your team. That's definitely not going to help your fantasy roster or possibly for these picks later on. So hint on that.
Yep, and we'll get to that shortly. But first, we're going to go down the turnpike and go to the city of brotherly love, and what's wasn't a lot of love early on in this game, is the team from Charlotte was giving the hometown team a run for its money.
A run for its money is right, and shout out to Bryce Young once again. He's looking better and better and better. You know, he's
Yeah,
doing he's
yes, he
doing his thing.
has.
He's doing his
I mean,
thing right now, and it's as a Carolina fan, you and I, Amir, you and me rather. Uh, this is promising.
yes, it is. It is promising. We just wish our team would that promising performances would translate into wins. And well, it's been haven't seen a lot of wins from this team of late, but it's been, I'll say, like I said, it's been closer, better than that. So having said all that, for the Eagles, yeah, the fans of Philadelphia were expecting more of a one-sided affair, and so did we, albeit maybe not a blowout.
Yeah. I mean, those Eagles fans were were kind of skeptical about how Panthers were playing, and they had the uh, lead up at some point during the contest. And back to the Carolina Colts right now, we're just stacking brick, as Ryan Garrity would say, stacking brick.
Yes, yeah, well, yeah, they're stacking the bricks. And speaking of stacking things, I know Saquon's on a record pace. Is he this is the day that game went buck 24 on the ground and is the Eagles all time set the all time record for most rushing yards in a season, passing LaShawn McCoy's hold from 2013. At the time of this recording, he has 1,623 rushing yards, which passes to McCoy's total of 1,607 back in 2013. Also, McCoy led the NFL in rushing that year. And from the looks of it, due to Derrick Henry, me on the bye week, Shady McCoy, excuse me, Saquon is on his way to being the rushing leader in the NFL and racking up MVP votes as well.
Yeah, he's definitely MVP caliber. After breaking that record, his odds for winning MVP have definitely gone up after that. And with Jaden Hurts, uh, he did not light up the excuse me the stat sheet as we expected.
No, he didn't. He only had only 101-yard passing, but he did throw a touchdown pass, and that was the go-ahead for Mr. Grant Calcaterra, who the man you see right here. He scored the go-ahead touchdown, and that put the Eagles up 22-16. And also got help from the defense as Darius Slay knocked down a pass 10 for Adam Thielen. And also C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a big interception that gave Philadelphia the lead at halftime. So that was one blemish on Bryce Young's rather impressive day in a battle between Alabama quarterbacks because Bryce and Jalen both went to Alabama, who, by the way, did not make the playoffs this year. Yeah, didn't really deserve it given they had 3 losses, but that's another conversation for another time. So, having said all that, the Eagles, well, yeah, it was a much more closer game than we expected, especially the hometown fans will agree with that. But at day's end, amidst the Fly Eagles Fly chance, there was a yep. So again, and also got a, and you also are keeping pace with the Lions as well for that number 1 seed. And I will say it's going to be tight. Who's going to get home field throughout the playoffs in the in the
and the NFC East.
yeah NFC yeah NFC playoffs. Sorry, I was trying to clean up my telestrator stuff. Anywho, having said all that, as for the Panthers, it was a good effort, but Xavier Legette, you got to complete the process, sir. And when you didn't, when fans saw that replay, that being Panther fans, they were saying this.
Well, I was hoping. Well, he didn't get a boo you stink, but he definitely got a message from Charlie Brown after that drop pass. And I'll just say this. I'll just get this out of the way. It's not his fault. It's not. He's a rookie. He'll learn. Sure, it's his fault, but I'm not blaming him 100% for that drop.
Oh yeah, but still gotta complete the process, sir. Because had he done so, that would have given them first and goal at the 3, and who knows what happens there. Chuba
Yeah,
Hubbard bounced back from that fumble last week and had a big day on the ground too.
he sure did. And Jonathan Brooks, ACL has struck again.
Yeah, unfortunately, Panthers will be out without the service of him for the remainder of the season as well, which is very unfortunate. And he fought back to make the roster or get on the field due to the ACL he tore prior to being drafted or
Well,
slash his
most
college
likely,
draft.
yeah, most likely he'll be out until at this time next year. 'Cause, coming off an ACL injury, an Achilles is not fun.
Yeah, it is a bummer because that was a concern going in, but also we were rooting for the guy to get on the field. 'Cause, it's a rookie, you want to finally get seated, get on the field, and all that stuff. And yeah, and he didn't have much time to do because he only played like barely 2 games. But yeah, it's a bummer it had to end so quickly.
Yeah, so he got the sniff of what it's like, but that was a very small sample size. And I believe in Jonathan Brooks. Injuries are part of the game, and in any sport really. But um, let's just wrap this up because we got a lot to get to. But um, for this game right here, it was an entertaining one. And so far, Amir, we're 3-0.
Yes, we are. Will we prove the 4-0? Yes, we will. Yes, we do. 'Cause, Miami,
All right.
another close one, closer than I thought.
Yeah, closer than expected. Um, Dang, if I got I almost got the Dolphins score right. Just off by 2 points here. 32 to 26 was the final, and in overtime. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't know when to quit, does he?
No, no, not as the rest of the Jets because they put up a very good effort. A big day from him and Devontae Adams. But on to the Dolphins. Yeah, that was a very tight one at Hard Rock Stadium. So either way, Tua on such another Alabama quarterback. How crazy is that? So anyway, 33 completions, 331 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Tyreek Hill, man, turned back the clock to his KC days. 10 receptions, a buck 15, and a touchdown pass. And Jonnu Smith, you had the game winner in overtime. And oh yeah, Jalen Waddle down the end zone, one reception mark as well. But getting back to Mr. Jonnu Smith, you scored the winning walk-off touchdown in overtime. And also special thanks to Malik Washington, who made up for the muff punt on Thanksgiving night in Green Bay. I mean, this game may not have gone overtime and not been for his long kickoff return when Dolphins fell 26 to 23 with less than 50 seconds left to go in regulation. But either way, they hit the game time field goal, won the toss, and said we're going to win it here. And sure enough, they did. And South Beach Dolphins fans, you know the drill.
What a
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
sequence! What a crazy sequence! Uh, what that you just explained it, and it all took um, in a short amount of time.
Yeah, because I remember I was listening to this while I was doing my Instacart, and I'm like, man, this game's close. I thought the Dolphins would be would would make quick work with the Jets, but not the case. But either way, they got a thriller in at Hard Rock Stadium. They don't like calling South Beach because they play in Miami Gardens. So according to one the guy covering the game for Infinity Sports Network, correspondent that is, name escapes me at the moment. As for the Jets, good effort. I mean, you got it to overtime, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. And here's a stat for you: they got eliminated from the playoffs for a 14th consecutive year, but that's also the longest drought in 4 major North American sport leagues.
Wow, I thought that I did not know. I knew about I knew about the losing streak, but that's the longest in any North American sports league.
Yep.
I mean, I just have to clarify because um, you think there would be a longer drought.
Yeah, I know the Mariners had a long one from 2001 that lasted to the late 2010s, but they since snapped that drought. And yeah, it's who'd have thought that AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh would have a lot more footnotes than they thought years later, and for the Jets not in a good way, and not in a good way. Yeah, they thought they had ended that drought, but that is not the case, as they will be watching from home for the 14th consecutive year.
Well, since we're on that subject, I'm going to take a guess and say who's the next person or the next team in line for that longest drought. I'm going to guess the Carolina Panthers.
No, that would for I know for the NFL the next longest is the Broncos, although they're in a good position to end that drought. So, and speaking of droughts, Miami has won a playoff game since 2000, so they're trying to snap that drought as well. I don't know how they are 2 games out of the playoffs as the time is recording, so time will tell. So, anywho, moving on from Hard Rock, let's go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Steelers are able to pick up for lost time against the Browns.
Well, they made for lost time and they made the most of it. 27-10 was the final score. And Amir, do my eyes uh, d- deceive me?
No, they don't. Well, I actually got a score right.
Well,
How's that?
well, go ahead and hit that button right there. Go ahead and hit that button.
Well, I'll be
Yep, that
darned.
was for you.
I can't believe. Well, I hope. I think that was. I know they scored 27 points. Make sure I get that right.
Well, let me double check.
Oh no, 27
I know.
14. Okay, I just didn't edit that. But either way, it's
Oh darn! Oh,
yeah, with this.
false
I
alarm
know
on
we were
that.
so close. Yeah, the Browns scored a garbage time touchdown pass. We were so
Uh,
close, so close
yeah.
to getting it.
Unfortunately, I have to edit that out. Unfortunately, so
Yep. So, folks, if you see a small edit there, so we thought it's 27-14 Steelers over the Browns. I thought we had it. Thought it was going to be the day we get one of us get the final score right, and as usual, so close but so far. Ah, why? But
yeah.
no.
Well, that being said, I won't edit out because your explanation makes perfect sense. So I have no right to edit this part out. But to proceed on,
Yeah.
actual score 27-14. Excuse me. So scratch what you heard 2 minutes ago. But Amir, I know something that isn't wrong. We're 5-0.
Yes, that is true. Yes, we're 5-0. Yes.
Um, it, the writing was on the wall for Pittsburgh to get uh, revenge against Cleveland.
Yeah, because remember, just less than 2 weeks prior to this game, the Steelers went to Cleveland. Everyone thought the Steelers were going to win that game. Don't blame everybody, but then the Browns said otherwise. They've owned the Steelers at home of late because like their recent struggles, but in the snow as well too. That was a very it snowed in the second half, but decent weather in Pittsburgh on Sunday, and well, the Steelers, well, they struggle in Cleveland. They dominate them at home because they've only lost to them twice at Al Jazeera Stadium, formerly known as Heinz Field. And I'm so used to calling Heinz because it used to be called that. But anyway, having said all that, for the Steelers, Cameron Hayward had 2 sacks, Russell Wilson 2 touchdown passes, no turnovers, and Ben Skoranek, the guy you see right there, had the covered a muff punt that halted any chance of a Browns comeback and sealed the victory for the Steelers, who are now in sole possession of first place in the AFC North. And having said all that, Steeler Nation, you know the drill. Not yet, Tampa Bay. There we go.
And for Cleveland, you've been hearing this ever since week number 2 of the season.
Yeah, and let's say he did good on the stat sheet, 300 yards total offense. The Steelers 267, but unfortunately, you had 3 turnovers, which you're not going to win games. You turn the ball over 3 times, and when you do that, fans will be saying this. Hmm.
Uh, well, if you heard that slap on the head, that's 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 from the turnover comment. I'm like, I mean, they were doing pretty well for a minute, and all of a sudden, quick, it's gone or poof.
Yeah, Jameis had a bad interception late in the second quarter, and after that, Steelers dominated the rest of the way. And as now that I bring up Jameis, that is now 5 interceptions in the last two two games in span of what 6 days.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Browns, um, I mean, I know it's going to be hard to get rid of that contract from Mr. Deshaun Watson, but if you can keep Jameis Winston on your team, I would be in I would be I would be in good shape of that.
Well, yeah, there's going to be some changes in Cleveland once the season ends, which can't get here quick enough for Browns faithful. But as for Steeler Nation, good win, good bounce back, and said you're 10-3, and yeah, we were so close, but well, hopefully this week we'll get a score right. But either way, we're 5-0. Who can't complain about that?
Can't complain. And one more thing before we move on, Cleveland, you have to watch the playoff from your living room once again.
Yep. They are gonna join the Jets on the couch when the playoffs
and
start
the
this year.
Panthers. Yeah.
Well, Panthers are basically not out of it yet. Yeah,
Really?
it may. Yeah, I know it's strange. Again, keep in mind they added an extra game back in 2021. Since why playoff picture doesn't look as straightforward as it did prior to they made a 17 game season. I know it's crazy, but yep, Panthers still in it. Browns are not. So speaking of NFC South, team that was just in Charlotte the week before, how about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because
Well, no surprise. I mean, Tampa Bay did Tampa Bay things, and lo and behold, that blue ribbon that says first on it, you have possession of that ribbon.
yes, they do. Because I know Falcons they lost to Minnesota. Tampa beat the Raiders. I mean, it was got out to a very dominating start, 14-0. But then Baker and Bucks got into some turnover trouble, but they were able to rectify that and pull away late. And I don't know why I can get that out of my mouth. Thanks to Mr. Jalen McMillan, who started in the fantasy roster. Well, he did. He had two touchdown receptions, excuse me, including the clincher that you see right here, 29 yards out to put the game away and solidified Tampa's first place. Jumping back in the first place after think some parts of the Falcons collapse in this dominating win, and also Bucky Irving, man, what and Rashad White, big day or Rashad White, excuse me, 109 total yards, 90 rushing, 19 receiving, two total touchdowns. And the Bucks defense held their ace at 13 points and kept them out of the end zones uh, for the most part. And yep, and forced three turnovers. So Tampa Bay, they say, fire the cannons, and if you keep on them, they say this. Then please, thank you.
And that would be three cannon shots from Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, they were firing the cannons loudly and proudly at Raymond James Stadium. And as for the other band of pirates, that being the Raiders, well, gonna sadly you're gonna be out Mr. Aiden O'Connell for the rest of the year due to a leg injury, and that was not a good sight to see. He had taken off the field with an air cast, and Desmond Ritter will be your starter. More on you in a minute. And also, yeah, this lost season is well, yeah, it continues in Las Vegas, and Vegas fans, when you pull down that lever, this is what this is gonna sound like. Come on.
And it's lever, not lever.
Oh, lever, yes.
You're good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, no surprise. 6-0. I'm satisfied. So Tampa Bay, you're satisfied. I know. And my prediction for the NFC South is looking good at the moment.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's back. That prediction is well back to. Looks like it's going to come to fruition at the moment because they're back in first place. So Tampa Bay, hang on to that. Raiders, good effort, but not good enough.
Not good enough. But we move on to the most surprising. I guess the most surprising game of the of the. I cannot talk because my brain is dead. Of the schedule.
Yeah, and probably the most, well, according to the correspondent for Opinion Sports Network, boring game on the schedule because there was no offense. If you like defense, I say this is your game because Titans defense showed up and the Jags defense showed up. Uh, Although the Titans defense didn't get much help from their offense.
No, they did not. And Mac Jones making the start. in for Trevor Lawrence. And as we said last week, prayers up for Trevor Lawrence after that massive hit against Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's gonna be. He unfortunately will be. He's done for the year. But Jacksonville, they're not done. 'Cause well, they're not going to the playoffs. They're saying, you know what? Bring a few guests along with us. How about our division rivals and not do it on their home turf? Because yeah, Tennessee, I don't know what happened. You had a goal situation early in the game, and came away empty-handed, and that came back to haunt you guys because you had 6 points to show for your fans, and on 4th and 3, this pass to Mister um, Westbrook Akine, there we go, was not complete, and when it fell incomplete, Titan fans are saying this.
That's right. And Will Levis had to leave the game. Thank you. But
Yeah, briefly, but he came back, but couldn't generate any offense. Speaking of offense and this rather lackluster offensive affair, Tank Bixby scored the only touchdown in the game, and it was all the Jaguars needed to walk away with the victory and a.
but with that, um, I would say this is the most surprising game so far on the schedule.
Yeah, and thanks to that list, the Titans dropped playing the egg at home. We are no longer undefeated.
Yeah, the Titans are undefeated at home, but the Giants haven't won a game. What is going on this year?
Well, Titans. I mean, they weren't undefeated at home. We were undefeated in terms of our picks.
Oh, oh, my bad. Yep. So scratch what I said. Yep. Our 5 game losing streak it has come to an end.
Yep. So yeah, and also Tennessee. You for the third year in a row, you'll be watching the playoffs from home as well because you have been. Well, you also have been eliminated. So yeah, let's move on. Oh, or better yet, there we go.
Speaking of speaking of teams that are going to be watching from home, there they are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't meant to be this year for the Browns, Titans, and Jets, especially the Jets, given those paper bags.
And going back to my paper bag comment earlier, and do remember, yeah, I do remember seeing that on the television.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's the Saints fans back in the '80s started that trend, and well, that's safe to say it's live and well here in 2024. At least not for the Saints. They have something to smile about. But anywho, that wraps up for the 1 o'clock games. We're going to the late afternoon games. So I'm up in the desert between the Seahawks and the Cardinals, and man, Seattle. They've been running 3 game winning streak since their bye week.
And looked really good too. Geno Smith, doesn't back down for nothing.
No,
Here, I think he had a phenomenal stat line.
well, I would say his stat line was pretty decent. But, let's see here. Yeah, 233, 80% completion percentage, touchdown pass, and no interceptions. But the stars of this game, at least when I've seen, was Matt Charbonnet, who had 22 carries for $134 and 2 touchdowns, including a 51-yarder to really put the game out of reach for the Seahawks. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, another big day for him. 5 catches for 82 yards, and the score you see right here. And Ernest Jones and Ernest Jones the fourth, excuse me, and Kobe Bryant. Yet both of them had interceptions in the second quarter that really set up one that tied the game, and then the other one put Seahawks ahead for the rest of the game. And what do you know it? They now, this is a 3 game winning streak. They're also in sole position of first place in the NFC West, which I don't think anyone would have predicted that going the season.
Nope. I did not predict the NFC West to be like that, and I didn't expect the Cardinals to be this competitive because they've really struggled the last few seasons. But even though with Kyle Murray, he he has gotten better.
Oh, it's been an interesting season to say the least in Arizona. And it wasn't too long ago they were in first place, but since the bye week they dropped well every game since then. And yeah, Kyler, you've had another forgettable game against Seattle as you threw two more interceptions against them, and you took that on you took that to heart in the post game press conference. And yeah, Cardinal fans were saying this.
Oh, you stink!
Best of both worlds. SpongeBob, boo, you stink.
Oh yeah, Cardinal fans, it's starting to feel like 2021 is the ghost of those that season's coming back. So remember they got to a very good start, but then Denver came along and they fell apart and made the playoffs, but it was a quick exit, and then the wheels fell apart in 2022. And but as for the Seahawks, you managed to rebound from the mid-season slump, and like I said, in first place, deserves A. There we go. Yep.
And to think about this, with no Pete Carroll as head coach anymore.
Yeah, no Pete Carroll, no Russell Wilson. In fact, a lot of those guys from those glory days from 2010s have since moved on, but Seattle, has found a way to overcome it.
Yeah, definitely. And I expected Seattle to do good.
So did I. I mean, I thought they would keep pace with another NFC West team we'll get into in a few moments, but first place, I'll say, has surpassed expectations.
Most definitely. So anyway, let's move on to our next plate or next game rather.
Yep, and well, speaking of the NFC West, we'll stick with them and move on to SoFi Stadium. And oh man, oh man, what a show! There was a lot of points scored in this game between the Rams and the Bills.
Well, explain what happened here, Amir, because I still couldn't figure out how in the in the heck it was 44 to 42.
Well, I was saying the same words listening to Infinity Sports Network as I was coming home from my last delivery. Because it seemed like every time they would turn to this game, the Rams would have the football and be in Bills' territory, and then with points. Ron Rams' offense, no slouch. I mean, they got Puka Nakua, who had two touchdowns on the day, one receiving, one rushing, and Cooper Cup, who was a Triple Crown winner just 3 years ago. Yeah, I can't believe that. And of course, Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. But either way, talk about special teams. Well, they got some help from Rams got some help from their specials, unlike a certain team that we'll get into shortly. Hunter Long and Jacob Home. Well, that block punt really was I say the deciding factor in this game because the Rams were leading 17-7, and the Bills, of course, punted the ball or just to punt the ball, but when Long blocked that punt home took it back to the house. That put them up by now three scores, and that really forced the Bills to play from behind. And give them credit. And Josh Allen put in another MVP performance with three touchdown passes and three rushing touchdowns. The first quarterback to ever do that in the 105-year history of the NFL.
Wow, that is a great stat. And you're gonna have one of those games where you're gonna come out on. Oh, excuse me, as I bite my tongue. Excuse me. you're gonna have one of those games where you put up the numbers, come come outside the losing effort.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it did come in a losing cause because again, the Bills defense had no answer. Cook and Nakua, who had 160 yard receiving and a touchdown, and also scored on the ground for 16 yards out. And Cooper Cup 5 catches for 92 yards in the score, and Matt Stafford 23 for 33, 20 and two touchdown passes, and that win now puts them atop of the what they call it, sniffing it from, as they call it, the Rich Eisen show in terms of the playoff picture. Or one game out of first place against the Seahawks. But keep in mind, they did beat them. That was the Sunday before the election, so they do own that tiebreakers, and they play them again in SoFi a few weeks from now. But having said all that, Rams, that's a good win, good performance, and Krusty Krab, take it away. There we go. So, yep. As for the Bills, I mean, coming off that great performance in the snow and that punch in the AFC West, oh boy, that was well, this is not the time to be losing the game because and have a bad day at the office from defense. Again, they allow 44 points, 457 total yards, 11 third down conversions, and 5 touchdowns on 6 red zone possessions. And that is not a playoff or championship performance from numbers I just read.
So 5 out of 6. That's 80. It's 83%. They score touchdowns on. So that's a big number.
Yeah, not only that, again, they couldn't get force the Rams off the field on third down as well, and as a result, yeah, Bills fans are gonna be saying, "Is this gonna be another year where the bad luck snake bites us again?" I hope not.
Well, I mean, honestly, for I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm not really a Bills fan, but kind of want to see them do well. But um, I'll back you up, Amir. I hope so. I I I I I really hope that's not the case either.
Oh yeah, and especially what transpired at Arrowhead Stadium a few hours later. But we'll get to them shortly. And before we move on, Bills fans seeing the Rams offense have basically do no have a day at the office. Well, Bills fans were saying this. Oh yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I have on my end, and as Quickie Pip would say, that's all, folks.
Well, wouldn't say that's all from the state of California. That's it for this game. But even with the state of California, 49ers turning back the clock to last year, and hopefully it pays off because make a late season push for the playoffs. I help though.
Well, they do need a lot of help, and it was a good day to have to get a win after with a struggling Bears team.
Oh yeah, so I'm getting to the home team, that being the Niners. Isaac Durando, who's plays for now, fortunately injured Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason, who were both placed on season in the IR. Well, he picked up the slack, scored 2 touchdowns on 15 carries. George Kittle, another big day for him, 6 catches, $151. Brock Purdy, 2 touchdown passes, both to Juan Jennings and Yatur Gross Mantos. He used to play for the Panthers. I do remember him. They didn't have a game like this in Carolina. He had finished the game with 3 sacks and was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Well, shout out to him. So that's good for him. And for the Bears, I see a frowning. Is it Kalen?
Caleb.
Caleb Williams. Williams. Excuse me. Not too happy.
Yeah, 'cause, yeah, you got a new interim coach. Speaking of former Panthers, Thomas Brown, and unfortunately, yeah, it was the same results as usual. Slow start on offense, and well, they so signs of life in the second half. This game wasn't even close. Didn't help that. Oh yeah, you only had 4 yards of offense at halftime.
Yeah, that's not gonna help its case. And 38-13 turned out to be the final score of this game. And if you think about it, with DJ Moore being in Chicago, Brian Burns being in Carolina, and Christian McCaffrey being out for the season, it seems like the Panthers trading assets are are uh, are not doing too good.
Well, DJ's not doing so well, and Christian's season's been marked by injury. And I know Burns has been a bright spot on a Giants squad that's been underperforming. But yeah, that's not saying much given the Panthers. They only had 3 wins. But yeah, getting back to the Bears, yeah, your quarterback's been getting sacked a lot 'cause he got sacked line 5 times by Gross Mantos and Leonard Floyd, who had 2 sacks. And what's amazing is that they've lost 7 in a row, but Caleb has not thrown an interception in any of those games. It's been that strange.
That is strange, and you know, um, missed opportunities, as Ron Rivera once said.
Yeah, it's been missed opportunity has been the name of the season for the Bears because there was a lot of hype, and for a while it didn't live up to that hype, and then they caught fire, and then ever since that Hail Mary and at um Landover, Maryland, back. It's, yeah, it's
Oh,
been
fell,
another lost
and
season
they
for
fell,
the Bears fans. There it is.
and they fell down to reality after
Oh yeah. So anyway, for the Niners, it's back to reality. So for them, you know what happens when you get a game like this. And for the Bears, yeah, this has been the story of your season since the bye week.
Oh, you stink!
that. Yep, and with that, I'm all good. We're with this. We're both 8-2, looking pretty solid. So
Yes,
Amir,
we are. We are 8-2.
yep, 8-2, and let's move on.
Yes, and let's move on to a thriller game at the game that's kicked off week 14 and got off with a bang at Ford Field between the Lions and the Packers.
And I'm telling you, man, we're so dang close to getting these scores right. 30, 30 to 27 and for you, and I had 30-24 in overtime on less. And this game did not go into overtime. 34-31 was the final.
Yeah, it was a close one. I didn't get the points all right, but just can't get the exact score. But anyway, I did say I think I had the Lions scoring the 30 by doing a game-winning touchdown, but the game-winning field goal doesn't hurt either. But having said all that, so Lions, again, how about it? I mean, 12-1, top all alone first place in the division, although the Vikings are breathing down your neck. And speaking of breathing down your neck, Packers gave you a fight. So, anywho, having said all that, Dan Campbell, well, what a way to roll the dice, sir. Fourth and fourth and one, 43 seconds to go in regulation. We're going for it. Let's win it right here, right now. And well, it looked like it was going to backfire at first when Jared Goff stumbled coming out of the coming out from under center. He was able to get the handoff to David Montgomery, who so they pick up that key first down, so Jake Bates walk-off field goal and put the Lions in the playoffs for the second year in a row. As it says right up there.
Yep, playoffs clinch, and I like the blue graphic, but
Thank you.
yeah, hmm playoffs clinch, and what a save by the Panthers offensive line. And no matter Jared Goff and Montgomery, during the hot potato exchange.
Yeah, hey, man, it looked like it was certain doom when he stumbled, but then somehow he was able to get the ball into Montgomery's hands, and 3 plays later, Jake Bates was the hero once again in Motown, and also Tim Patrick, excuse me, also had his found the end zone for the first time in 2024. Found it twice, and went on Smooth night with 6 catches for 43 yards. And, well, yeah, you find the end zone, get to celebrate with the fans in Detroit, who had plenty to celebrate at night's end. The team, it says right there, is back in the Clinton playoff spot.
Yeah, and you love to see that for sure. And with that, that deserves a.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Yep, Lions, congratulations. Packers, good effort. Although a lot of fans were complaining about the officials, and I don't really blame them after I saw this, because there was a blatant face mask or hit to the head on Jordan Love that, some weird reason, no flag was thrown. Don't know how the press missed that. I see one
Hmm.
right there in the background.
Yeah, it seems like they've been missing a lot of calls lately, the refs. And oh, yeah, that's good. That's good illustration, Amir. Um, man, I just don't know what to say about that one, Chief.
And a lot of these have come on Thursday night because they missed a face mask from Sam Darnold back in October, and then another face mask from Joe Burrow week after that. But yeah, and speaking of
If
fans, I know Matt LaFleur got into a heated exchange with a Lions fan who was later asked to leave at halftime, so he had to miss out on the celebration, the post game celebration at Ford Field. So for the refs and that Lions fan that kid got ejected, well, this is what come on, you know the drill, Bikini Bottom.
Boo! You stink!
yeah, and think about this too. They, if you want to go back to the Carolina game, I remember this from the Tampa Bay game. Adam Thielen touchdown. I uh, I don't understand. It's weird. And that's what one that remember that I was there for, and they can't they can't continue they cannot continue to do this.
Yeah, 'cause I know we're approaching the playoffs, and we've seen the refs decide games in more ways than not in the playoffs. And speaking of which, Eagles and Lions fans, you-
Yep, we're going to the postseason.
yep. And now we're yes, indeed, and what? And I'll do it at home as well. So get those tickets out and then get ready. Lincoln Financial. Well, one quite say, well, I might jump the gun there, but I will say this: Eagles and Lions fans, you've earned it. You've earned it. It isn't
Definitely.
happening Flint yet, but slowly but surely that will be decided in the NFC East. North, still got a few things to work out there, but either way, congrats to them. Moving on. Speaking of clinching stuff, boy, Kansas City. I it must. Boy, I know it's the Christmas holiday season, but man, it feels like the Chiefs have been living off a lot of miracles this year.
Yeah, a lot of miracles, and talk about a doink.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I saw that live on my TV, and I thought, well, that kicks no. It's good. How does this keep happening?
Well, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're saying to yourself, a win's a win, and if you're not, you're saying to yourself, what you said, what you just said, Amir. How does this keep happening?
So Chiefs Kingdom again. Your reign as AFC West champions continues 9 years in a row. So, and I'm also a big night for Tom O'Halley going their Ring of Honor and Hall of Fame as well. So, gotta obviously that was gotta win on those nights. And oh yeah, Mr. Matthew Wright, he's filling in for an injured Harrison Butker. Kicked 3 field goals on the night, but the one that mattered most was well, a doink that bounced worked out in him and his team's favor because it went through. I don't know how, but it did.
Yeah, it was just right on, right on cue. And speaking of right on cue, Krusty Cab, take it away, please.
Yeah, and as for the Chargers, I mean, got to a slow start, were able to take the lead late in the game, but when that kick went through miraculously, as number 43 is showcasing here. Yeah, Charger fans are saying this. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, are they are they the worst 11-1 team ever, or
uh,
12-1 team? Excuse me.
I will say this 12-1 record. I would say skeptical as you say to yourself, man, they can't seem to win a game convincingly. Well, I mean, yeah, sure they're gonna win some close games, but figure be half and half.
Yeah. I mean, there should be some games where they could have lost 5 or 6 games already, and here we are, 12-1, and yeah, I got no words. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and if you're the Bills, boy, that loss at SoFi, well, it really stings now because you had the head-to-head, but Chiefs now have a 2-game lead over you in terms of the record, and yeah, we only got 4 weeks left to go in the season, and no, that's you're not looking too good there if you're a Bills fan, but if you're a Chiefs fan, you're feeling pretty confident that everyone's Super Bowl journey and dreams will come through and end at Arrowhead Stadium come January. Then again, we still got 4 weeks left to go in the season, so anything can happen. So having said all that, let's wrap it up with this thriller at Jerry World and the fans. While they enjoyed Thanksgiving, the they wanted an encore and they did not like it.
Hey, they wanted an encore and talk about a no.
Yeah, well, Amani or I don't even know how to say your last name, sir. Or I know I said your first name, Amani or Rorke. There we go. Well, you had Cowboys fans screaming "Doe" when they blocked the punt, your teammate, and gave your team good field position, but then you decided to touch the football, and that gave the ball right back to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So you said I'll just get this out the way right now. Hold on. Yeah, and in case
Yeah.
you're wondering, of course, they had the Simpsons Sunday night simulcast. That was pretty decent, but either way, I know Lisa and Bart enjoyed themselves. Homer, well, let's just do it one more time.
Yeah. Go.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were saying he was saying no. Cowboys fans were saying no, and Amani was saying no, and Micah Parsons as well because he left the field without shaking hands, and yeah, he had every right to be pissed because you're off the field, think your team's gonna get the ball back, and then your teammate lets you down.
Well, if you're the Bengals, yeah, I see those delicious glazed uh um those
Donuts.
glazed donuts.
Oh yeah, they were definitely saying donuts because they earned them because Joe Burrow, another man. he's having an MVP season, and no, the record says otherwise. But either way, 3 touchdown passes for Burrow, two to Jamar Chase, who had 14 receptions for buck 77 or buck 91, excuse me, buck 91 and 2 touchdowns, including the go ahead, following in the block punt mishap, and then also Chase Brown. Oh, yeah, yeah, you deserve to celebrate in the for what do they call it? Salvation Army um pot. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't.
Yeah,
I drew a
and
blank on that for a second. But either way,
yep.
yeah, you
Oh,
also
good.
had the other reception touchdown pass from Joe Burrow and a pretty one for the pylon cam as well. So 6 catches, 65 yards in the score, and boy, the moment in the sun and darn the Salvation Army on tea kettle is the or barrel. There it is. That's what I meant to say. Barrel. They always had that out during this time of year at AT&T Stadium. But either way, Bengals enjoy you earned the donuts. You made your donation to the Salvation Army, and also you were saying, listen to Who Dey. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just play that one more time, just for laughing grin.
All right.
Love it. But Amir, if anyone needs me, I'll be in the end zone. And Jamar Chase, on the Simpsons telecast, with Lisa scoring that important touchdown in the contest.
Oh yeah, and look, Homer. Well, eating dirt and eating dust because yeah, he got burned on that touchdown run.
Yeah, and I think did the player got his ankles broken on that play?
Well, it wasn't on that play, but I do know Mr. Overshone, who had that spectacular interception on Thanksgiving. Yeah, unfortunately, he left the game with a ACL
What
injury,
I
which will cost him
what
the
I mean
season.
is no, what I mean is he got crossed up during that play. Nothing
Oh
broke.
yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, the 2 men covering Jamar Chase. Yeah, they unfortunately, yeah, they got crossed up at the legs, and yeah, that was not Cowboys fans did not like the side of that. But I know Jamar Chase, who's had big nights on Monday Night Football, according to the graphic they showed. He showed up on Monday Night once again. This was his best one in his young career. He's only been in the NFL for 4 seasons.
Yeah, and plenty more to come. And Jamar Chase putting up some stats. And speaking of stats, Amir, I think we're done, right? Because that's the last game.
Yep, and you won 10, and I won 9. That game in Nashville did me in, and also the game at SoFi. The records, which I updated between last week and this week, you went 12-1, 11-2. But yeah, you were pretty close, 10-3. So that's not bad. 9-4. You know, yeah, it's still a winning record nonetheless. So I can't complain with that. As for the playoff picture, that should be 12-1 Kansas City. I might either way. So having oops. So with this according to this board right now, Chiefs are now, of course, still have the 1 seed. Ravens will move on from the Chargers. They had that head-to-head against them and the Broncos. And then, of course, you see here 2 more teams got eliminated from the race, and Bengals 5-8. But you'll see an updated one in shortly, folks. And of course, in the NFC, Lions and Eagles, they are in the playoffs. Whereas no one else, there's only other changes were in the hunt category or sniffing it. Is the Rams, they leapfrog the Falcons and the Cardinals to take over that one spot for a team that could, sneak in, say one of these two falters down the stretch.
Yeah, if I'm looking at the playoff picture from the NFC playoff games right here, I say the top 3 or 4 teams stay like it is, and and hopefully that is the case. I know I'm making my prediction a little early before our next segment, but folks, I'll cover it for our recap of Week 14. Coming up next, let's see who wins out on Week 15.
Well, speaking of Week 15, there is a prediction in terms of the Super Bowl, and hopefully it comes to fruition. But it's going to be I saw the 425 slate, and it's going to be one for the books, at least on paper. Hopefully it plays out that way come Sunday. So stay tuned, everybody. Yeah, well, we're back. So week 14 is over, and now week 15 is right around the corner. And like I mentioned before in the outro, it's going to be you looking forward to 425. Well, you're in for quite a treat because there's plenty of games in the late window that are worth viewing. So before we dive into that, to update the playoff picture, and I mentioned before, Chiefs are 12-1. Ravens, they take over a top wild card spot with Chargers losing on Sunday night to aforementioned Chiefs. Bengals are 5-8. Dolphins 6-7. Colts hold the last arm prime position to take over a wild card spot. Say the Chargers Broncos stumble. More on that in a second as well. And of course, more teams got eliminated. And of course, here in NFC standings, Lions and Eagles have clinched a playoff spot. Divisions are still up for grabs, or haven't been clinched yet in terms of the Eagles. North is still up for the taking, and as is the NFC South and the NFC West. So anything can happen. As I say, we're separating contenders from the pretenders. So having said all that, let's move up. Start off with our first game with the team come off the bye, Washington Commanders.
Well, the betting odds for this week is the Commanders at minus 360 and the Saints plus 280. Um, if I had to choose, Washington should win this one 27-17.
All right, I like that. And I will say Commanders fresh off the bye. I got going against a Saints team that's going to be out Carr, Olave, and Hill. Jaden Daniels is gonna be, going to be fresh. So is the running game and the defense. So and now it's going to be on the road, but I'll take the Commanders as well because they still have a shot at the NFC East crown. Got a lot ways to go, but they're dumb. They're the better team on paper, so I will go with them. And also Spencer Rattler will be getting the start because again, Derek Carr will be out for the rest of the year with a wrist injury.
Yeah, and I just don't think I think the tank has finally ran out on the Saints' chances. So I think things for New Orleans fans are not looking good.
No, they're not. But as for Washington fans, I say things looking up. Again, you still got another matchup with the Eagles. And again, the NFC East is still up for grabs. And you want to have any chance of hosting a playoff game, get it done Big Easy. And enjoy the and also stay safe on Bourbon Street, Commander stands. It gets crazy down there. But either way, and she won this one, hopefully by 2 touchdowns. Speaking of
Well,
touchdowns or favorites, yeah, do not adjust your screen, folks, right here.
oh boy, when I saw that, I was not really surprised. Okay, I was surprised. I'm gonna say it. I was surprised.
I was too. I mean, I know Dallas is not, well, the odds of them making the playoffs are pretty slim, but I did not think they'd be a favorite or they'd be the underdog going into this game.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, once you said the Carolina Panthers were still in it, I thought like, there's no way. Like, how? Feel free to explain.
Well, again, they're due to there now being 17 games, that means say a team with 10 losses is still alive for the playoffs or playoff spot, given how their division is looking, at the late in the year. In the case of the NFC South, I mean, no one's running away with it at the moment. And Panthers have beaten the Saints, and they better with the Bucks. And well, they got one more game against the Falcons. I don't know how that game's going to play out when that time comes. They're still mathematically alive. I know at 3-10 that seems crazy, but how about still alive at 5-8 too? Having said all that, if the Panthers have any chance of winning, the run defense has to show up because Rico Dowdle, he's been on fire the last 2 weeks. He's gone over the century mark in the Cowboys' last 2 games. So do not sleep on him.
Yeah. And if you're let's see, if you're the offensive line, you got to do exactly what you did last week in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, because I know the Eagles' defense was tough defense. I mean they got some guys in their front seven that are dominant. Jacoby Dean, Zach Bond, they were, and guess who's coming to town this week? Micah Parsons. I mean, he's in a very pissed off mood given what happened on Monday night.
Yep. And go for, and be ready to see a lot of Dallas Cowboys jerseys in those stands in Charlotte. So we saw it with Kansas City. Now this is my prediction. We're gonna see a bunch of those come this Sunday with Dallas Cowboys jerseys or shirts in those seats.
Oh yeah. What's also part of that favorite line surprised me because again now it's playing in Charlotte, but Dallas has a big fan base, and it seems like the visiting teams to fans see more of them at the stadium than Panther fans since Dave Tepper took over. So having said all that, I know the defensive coordinators. I know y'all been coming under fire, especially in the run department. Mike Zimmer and Mr. Edro Avero, if I said your name right, sir. So something's got to give because the Panthers, you got a chance against Dallas. I mean, if you can dominate at the line of scrimmage or win the battle line of scrimmage, I'm a little.
Well, there is a possibility that Javion Clowney might come back.
Well, we said good chance. I mean, for our sake, Panthers fans' sake, we hope he's on the field come game day. Um, hmm.
But let me read the betting odds while you're thinking about it, Amir. So the Cowboys plus 120, Panthers minus 140. So there you go. Um, I have like three or four scores in mind, but it's not what you think. Or rather, I take that back. I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with the betting odds.
Oh, okay. And by the way, folks, again, your ears and eyes were not deceiving you when Keenan read those aloud and when they showed up on your screen.
So who wants to take a crack at it first?
At your final score,
Yeah, who wants to take a crack at the prediction?
okay. Well, I'm going to predict what you're going to predict. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Um, you had the Panthers winning by a touchdown, so I would say 28-21.
You know what? It's funny because I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking either 28-25 or 28-21 Carolina. So if I had to choose, realistically, come on, 28-21. Give me 28-21.
Okay. Well, hmm. Panthers is maybe your last shot to get a win, so it's not going to be convincing. 'Cause, defense is probably gonna if they can't contain Rico Dowdle. So I would say they win by 3, 27-24. Let's just see what happens on Bank of America Stadium this Sunday.
Yeah, I have no idea because this is the first time in since 2022, since December of 2022. Was it the Lions and Panthers game, wasn't that like the odds in the Panthers' favor that day? Do you happen to remember that or no?
So I vaguely do, and keep in mind that that Lions team was also in position for the playoffs, much better shape than this Cowboys team. I do vaguely remember saying the Pants were favored to win that game. I could be wrong on that. 'Cause again, they were again, there was a situation here. I mean, the division was still up for grabs at that point. So either way, having said that, we get the Pants. If Pants play get up a performance like that on Sunday, they have a good chance of winning. But if they run defense can't stop the Cowboys, it Cowboys have a chance. So having said all that, it looks to be interesting on the Bank of America Stadium. So we'll see come next week.
Yeah. And speaking of games that are gonna be
Newscasts
somewhat,
or ones you say, well, I have
eh,
YouTube TV. I can just skip over this game because these two teams ain't worth a dime.
I don't know who to. Oh, I don't know. The betting odds plus 150 Jaguars, minus 125 Jets. Oh boy. 30. No, no, 20 to 14. I don't know. Something weird. 20 to
Um,
14. Yeah,
for the
excuse me.
Jets or Jags.
Yeah, excuse me.
20 to 14 Jets over the Jaguars. Okay. Boy, I mean, the Jaguars defense showed up in Nashville, and the Jets offense woke up in at Hard Rock Stadium. So something's got to get here. I will just go with the Jets. They're the better team on paper. And again, the Jaguars, they love to be sneaky and shock everybody. But either way, Jets, this might be their best chance to get another win in the season.
Yeah, and despite your division, being competitive, nope, that's not the case here.
Yeah, we'll see who will be smiling and who will be wearing a towel over their heads. So let's just move on from this game.
Um, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and say for this game right here, this one should be pretty simple. 31-14 Cincinnati.
I can't argue with that. I mean, and I will just say Bengals. I mean, you should win this one handedly. You're the better team on paper. You still got a chance to make the playoffs. It's gonna need a lot of help. So
Yeah,
tomorrow and go
the
should be another big day for you guys. But Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley will have a say in the matter. And go ahead.
yeah, and before I forget, betting odds for the Bengals is minus 225, Titans plus 190. So there you go.
Yep. So bet the here who day chance at Nissan Stadium. So having said that, let's move on. It's not much to move on. Thank you. Let's move on to Cleveland, Ohio, where they you have a tough task at hand. Upset the defending Super Bowl champions.
Oh man, if if this is the screw it, why not? 27 to 20 Cleveland.
I would call you crazy, but given how the Chiefs have played, I mean, I don't really blame you for that. Actually, I don't blame you.
Like the worst 12-1 team in my opinion. Like think about the last few weeks. The Raiders, the um,
Panthers,
Panthers, the Sunday night football game last week.
yeah, or even against the Bengals early in the year. And 49ers, I know that was they won by 10, but Pat Jones didn't have threw like two interceptions in that game. And I'm trying to think, what's another one they've won? Oh, the first game against Denver that came down to a field goal as well.
It did. I did. I do remember that. And to readjust my score one more time, I'm gonna say 24-21, just to make it, that's
24 to 21.
yeah, yeah, just to
And as
play,
you say that, what up?
just to play it safe.
Okay. I never forget hearing this. The guy, Pat Doyle, who does was Gridiron Game Day. I'll never forget him saying this. Before the Browns played the Ravens, he said he picked Cleveland to win. I thought, he's crazy. Cleveland's not winning this game, but sure enough, they won the game. And also, as I said, that all three of their wins have come at home in Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and one other team they beat at home that I can't think of at the moment. It was insane. It
It'll
wasn't the
come back to you
Chargers.
later.
What up?
It'll come back to you later for sure.
Yeah, it'll come to
But
be eventually. Hmm.
but to add on to this point for the betting odds, though, minus 215 for Kansas City and the Browns plus 180. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got so many predictions wrong because a lot of upsets have took place.
Yeah, trying to think who else. Oh, they beat Jacksonville and Jacksonville. That's right.
Oh, okay. So to reiterate what you said before, it was Jacksonville and who else
Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
for Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Okay. And I'll get to another fact, another fun fact for another uh is it NFC North or AFC North? Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get to that here later. But what's your score in there?
It'd be a close one at First Energy Stadium, but somehow the Chiefs are going to find a way to pull it off. I don't know how. But if the Browns do upset them, I won't be surprised either.
Well, I like your analysis. I like how we picked different for this game. So one of us has to come out on top of
Yeah, yes, definitely. It's as Chris Berman would say, that's why they play the games.
it. That's why they play the game. If I'm doing my Chris Berman voice correctly, but I'm not. But anyways, let's move on.
Yep, that was pretty good too. The Chris Berman
Oh,
impression.
thank, thank you. But
My pleasure.
speaking of speaking of good impressions, Texans, can you fix a couple of things, please?
Well, you're gonna have to do it without your star linebacker Azir. Your name is I have it right here on this Google Doc. What's your name, sir? Come on. Here we go. Azir Azir Shahir. There we go. Well, you're going to be out the services of him for the next 3 games coming out your bye week, and yeah, I mean, I know the Dolphins are 6-7, but they're still fighting for a playoff spot. And look who you got to go up against. You got Tua, got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith, Raheem Mostert. He's had a quiet season. Devon Achan, Jalen Ramsey, the highest paid corner, Calais Campbell. I mean, long story short, this Dolphins team is no slouch. I mean, they're no pushovers. I mean, they won like 4 of the last 5 games and are in the playoff hunt. So it's going to be a very close game at NRG Stadium. And oh yeah, CJ Stroud been kind of having a shaky season. But I will say, if you're going to have a chance of blowing them out or winning by 2 possessions, Joe Mixon's beating him the ball as a top priority. So, having said all that, Houston going to be a nail biter, but you'll find a way to win. There we go. Thank you. 28-27.
Okay. Um, uh, you know what? It could go either way. I agree. But Texans don't look like the same team like they did last year at the time. So, Miami. I'm gonna go with Miami. 27,
Okay.
27 to 24.
24. Well, now that you say that, if they do beat the Texans in Houston, that'll be the first time they ever done that, in the first one in Houston since 1996, when they played the Oilers and Dan Marino was their quarterback. And I also forgot to mention for the Cowboys Bengals game, that was the Bengals' first ever win against the Cowboys in Dallas since 1988.
Wow, that's a long time. Jeez, that's 36 years ago.
Yep, and that Bengals team won to go to the Super Bowl, and they were led by Boomer Esiason. And I know people at CBS and WFAN are familiar with that name.
Hmm. Well, for the betting odds, Dolphins plus 135 and the Texans minus 155. So there are your betting odds.
Yep, and a few stats as well. Did you know? Well, now you know.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So,
Yeah.
moving on.
Anyway, from the Lone Star State and move on to MetLife Stadium, and this is no brainer. Ravens, you're the better team. Giants, your 100 years anniversary is gonna, it's not one to celebrate.
It's continuing. It's going to continue to crash down, as they say.
Yes.
But I don't know, 27-7. Baltimore wins it.
Mhm. I think the last time the Ravens have beaten the Giants at home, that was 1997. That was Tiki Barber's rookie season. That was, I think, his second game with the team too. So yeah,
Well, what?
Ravens. I mean,
Well,
excuse me.
what month was that?
I know it was in September, and that Giant team were going to the playoffs, but they did hit a roadblock along the way, and one of the teams they lost to was the Ravens at home. And I know that Ravens team was in the second year of existence. But having said all that, yeah, this is finally in that winless streak. I get on the road against the Giants. Here's your chance, Baltimore, because if this Giants team, if no Eli Manning or Saquon Barkley or Mike Strahan or Justin Tuck or just pure ball on this team, and talking about going back, talking about 100 years of history for the Giants.
Yeah, try going back 10, 12 years for that. But man, Ravens minus 1600 and the Giants plus 800. The betting odds.
Yep, and heck, maybe Ravens, since talking about Giants and Ravens history. Yeah, maybe have a make Giants remember Super Bowl 30 was 35 and that lopsided affair, and my Ravens 34-7. By the way, yep. Moving on, and so we're done with the 1 o'clock slated games. Now let's move on to the 4:25 games, and I see a good one at Ford Field. Oh man, this is good.
It is going to be good, and the team that has 12 wins look no further because they are going to get lucky number 13. But it's going to be close, 27-24. Detroit wins it.
7:24. Okay, you got them, and then for me, Bills, you got to bounce back because you can't afford to lose any more games. It's gonna be a tight one because again, this is playoff season's on the line here at Ford Field, but the Bills will find a way to pull it out. You know what?
Oh, okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. And the betting odds, you're gonna like this, Detroit fans, minus 140, and the Bills plus 120.
Oh yeah, and Lions fans and Bills fans, I know your defense has had some injuries the last few weeks, since why it's going to be another high scoring affair. And Bills, I know you're looking for a bounce back, but this may not be the week for it. But you could get a clutch performance or game stealing performance from someone on defense. So that's why you see the defensive coordinators in this shot. And also, what's with the Caesar Superdome? Well, remember from our first episode, Dola had our weekly picks. I said I had these teams getting to to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And well, based on the records, it's looking good so far. Although we do need to make sure the Bills get home field, but the win here will go a long way in doing that. And the Chiefs lost, which and hope in your case, Keenan, I hope that works. I hope that works out. Ironically,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what you just said was 100% correct, and I don't really disagree with that statement I made earlier about Buffalo either. That would be actually kind of neat to see somebody else.
well, I mean, as backup, I got Baltimore getting there. I mean, Steelers look pretty good, and
Well, we'll
also
cross
Sean
that bridge.
McDermott and oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it once we get even closer to the end.
Mm. And also for Miss Coach McDermott and Coach not Dan Quinn. I apologize, but I don't. I Dan Campbell. There we go. How did I forget your name, sir? My apologies, Detroit fans. If this game does get tight, please manage the clock appropriately so you don't get so that way Gyra you're not doesn't put you in his doghouse. McDermott, you got that was your fate last week in SoFi, so I hope. And Mr. Campbell 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, so please manage the clock. Or clock management is key in this game for both coaches and teams.
Well, it's going to be, and I wouldn't be surprised if I get this one.
Well, the lot's on the line for this for both of these teams, so anything can happen. But like I said, clock management top priority. So moving on in a good slate of 425 games, we got one in Denver, and well, Colts. If you win this game and you it's going to prove. I mean, you're not going to move into the playoff spot, but it'll help your chances down the road because you would have beaten Denver. You know, the Colts hold that top spot for to get in terms of sniffing it. But as for that, I just feel that Denver's got more of an advantage here. So I'm sorry, Colts, but I just don't trust Richardson against the Broncos defense here. So give me Denver 27-17.
Yeah, we just don't know what Indianapolis team is going to show up. So it's gonna be 24-17. Denver wins it.
Okay. So it's gonna be a close one. It should be close throughout. I mean, I Colts have not only aside from the Detroit game, they I don't have been like the reverse Chiefs in a way if you think about it.
Yeah. Um, Broncos minus 200, Colts plus 170. So there's your betting odds. And did I read the betting odds for the Detroit game by chance?
You did.
Okay. Okay. So, scratch that. But should be fun. I'm excited to at least hear about these games because I can't. Unfortunately, folks, I cannot catch all these games. Unfortunately, I'm just making predictions, and that's what we're here for.
Oh yeah, but again, you have YouTube TV can do it, and of course you got Gridiron Game Day on your radio or phones and tablets and computers because that's how we roll here in 2024. And as for the Broncos, I mean, got to keep winning in that long playoff drought, and a win here will go a long way in doing it. So, moving from the battle of the horses to game in the desert, probably the least traffic game in the 425 window.
Yeah, Arizona should win this game with no issues. 27-14.
At least it should. I mean, it's again, Cardinals. It wasn't too long ago. You were well smiling and laughing at the cameras. But since that dominant win over the Jets, it's been what the Tyler's been showing here. But I'd say you can finally, after 3 weeks, turn that crown upside down. Arizona, you don't win this game, and it's time to hit the panic button in the desert. So,
Yeah, most definitely. And speaking of the odds or panic, no panic yet, but remember, you're minus 260 Cardinals and Patriots. You're plus 215 betting odds.
yep. And one of the Patriots' 3 wins this year has come on the road against the Bears, and everyone thought the Bears would have a get right game that day, and well, that didn't happen. So Cardinals, don't sleep on this Patriots team. So moving on from that game, and move on to the battle of the Keystone State between the Steelers and the Eagles. This will be on Fox. So, oh yeah, it's like I said, it's 425. So it's going to be on paper, one for the books, and we got two good ones at one at the link and one at Ford Field.
Yeah, most definitely. And going back to my point earlier, so correct me if I'm wrong, Amir. The Steelers have lost to the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The was it the Colts?
Yep.
And there's one more. Uh, one of my buddies told me this last night. Shout out to you Nate, Nate Laughlin. You're gonna be mad because I'm gonna get this wrong, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So Amir, what's the other one?
Dallas.
Dallas. Ah, if I kept thinking about it, I would have got it.
Yep, but again, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Well, Eagles want to make it 4?
Yeah,
28,
man.
25.
Oh, hold on. Let's see your final prediction before I type it in.
Yeah, 28-25. Excuse
Okay. I know Ravens fans will like it. Of course, they got to do their end of the bargain. So, should be a good one. Steelers, you got your hands full trying to contain Saquon Barkley, who's on a record pace this season. DJ Watt, Cameron Haywood, Nick Fitzpatrick. Stay up on your film on this guy. And Eagles defense, Russell Wilson has turned back the clock, so don't sleep on him.
me. Man, I'm just getting chills just thinking about Saquon Barkley because he put up the numbers and he broke that record.
Yeah,
And
I
Amir,
will say
you're
the
yeah, and Amir,
Keystone
you're
winner of the Keystone State battle will go to Philadelphia.
yeah. I was going to say, Amir, you're picking Philadelphia as well. 27-25.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time they won in Philadelphia? I know they have not won in Philadelphia in a long time, that being the Steelers. They
Yeah,
last
but the
won
betting
there.
odds.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, let me let you continue your point real quick.
Yeah, because the last time they beat the Eagles in Philadelphia was 1965. So before the Super Bowl existed.
Whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
I had to do some math in my head. So that was 50, no, 49 years ago.
No, I'll be 58. Yeah, 58 years ago. No, 59. Excuse me.
Yeah, I said 59.
Okay, I thought you said 49. Okay, never mind. I heard wrong.
No, you're good. But the betting odds is something that we can both agree on.
Yes.
Minus 225 is Philadelphia, and the Steelers plus 190. So Eagles, I haven't said this yet. Beep beep, you're in the driver's seat.
Oh yeah, and also, you're trying to get home field advantage. So depending on what how things play out at Ford Field, you that will a win here would help out, and Bills beating the Lions there will help out. So anyway, gonna be a big one on Fox and CBS, and also SoFi Stadium again. Chargers hosting the Bucks.
Well, this should be this, man. Man, I could keep up with the games this weekend. But more on that after the show. But Chargers, they got the hot hand, so I'm gonna pick Chargers 27-20.
All right, I would. Well, I don't know about hot hand 'cause they did They came to a last second field goal with KC. But Chargers, you are
Better than
yeah,
that, but they looked good. Nonetheless, but Chargers.
you definitely want to improve your playoff seeding. Bucks, I know you're coming off that first place win or win that put you back in the first place rather, but it's gonna be a bittersweet one. So I'm going to take Chargers as well. 27-24. We'll say Chargers offense. You gotta show up. I know it's been kind of shaky since J.K. Dobbins went out, but hopefully Lab McConkey will be back in the lineup too because he missed his game last week due to an injury. I haven't settled that, and also her Antoine Winfield. He's going to be out with an injury as well for Tampa Bay. So anywho, should be another entertainment so far. No score over 40 like they saw last week, but entertaining nonetheless on paper.
On paper, yes, but on paper for the betting odds, plus 135 if you're Tampa Bay, and the Chargers are minus 155. The Chargers, you're you have the you have the you have the ball, use it.
Yeah, and also I'm looking for your first win since 2008. It's a lot of first time since fill in the blank in this segment.
Mhm. And speaking of fill in the blank, we got to get to our night slate of games
Oh yeah,
between the Packers and Seattle. So the Packers are minus 155, and Seattle is plus 135. So should be fun.
well, definitely. Given that, I mean, man, well, not long ago it was between Aaron Rodgers and Geno Smith, and we get Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, excuse me, and now it's Geno Smith versus Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs versus Zach Charbonnet, so forth. But yeah, it should be a good one at Seattle, and who was right in the hot hand as I say that. Boy, this is tough.
Thinking of a score, sure. I have a pretty good. Yeah, it is tough because Packers, right? Amir, do you agree?
Well, they did have more time off. I will say that. Whether they'll use to their advantage, we'll see. This is being played at Lumen Field. We'll say this. I mean, Seattle hasn't been the home field advantage as it once was for them. But better late than never. I'll take Seattle in this one. Should be a close one though.
Yeah. I would have to actually disagree because I'm gonna pick different again, and Packers should win this one. I want to pick a different. 34-30. Let's
Oh
try that.
wow. Ooh, okay.
I mean, and we saw 42 points last week or 44 points last week. Like this should be the game, right?
Well, Sunday night, I will agree with that. And again, this another one of those last nonsense. Well, if Green Bay does this, they'll beat their first win in Seattle since 2008 as well. And that's what I think like 3 games in a row. I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. For the Packers minus
Yep.
155
Sorry.
for the betting odds, and no, you're good. And Seattle plus 135. So there are the betting odds. And Amir, I bet you were looking for that stat, right?
Yeah, and I skipped over a slide, but either way, yeah, it's gonna. So history is definitely in the making this Sunday, and so it's a first
Like
25 slot's gonna be one for the books, and
yeah,
Sunday one as well. So
and the yeah and the yeah basically most of these games, if not all, because it's go time, right? It's
yeah,
if you want to make the playoffs. So
yeah, separate pretenders and the contenders. And before we get into this game, let's get the Seattle makers around the applause for this late Sunday night or late Sunday afternoon Sunday night matchup. So they did a good
Oh
job
yeah,
with this one.
definitely, definitely, for sure. Um, I mean, we give them a lot of crap for what they do, but sometimes you got to give them uh their roses, right?
Definitely, and like I said, they nailed it with these the late afternoon slate and the Sunday night matchup.
Hmm. Well, um, oh, this is where it gets harder and harder. It's like studying for a test, you know?
Yes, I would agree. 'Cause, yeah, the Niners, I mean, they need to win them if they have any chance of getting there. Rams kind of have a hot hand, man. And they've beaten the Niners the last 2 times after going a while without beating them. It's yeah, this is
Yeah.
a tough
Well,
one.
although I did pick 49ers to make it again, but with Chris McCaffrey out and the other guy.
Yeah, and this would be at Santa Clara. They already played at LA. Rams won that game. That was the one Jennings coming out. Well, breakout game that was all for naught. Why you see him on the screen, folks. But either way, his Kerwin Williams was still that day for 3 touchdowns of his own. But anyway, this is at Santa Clara. Like I caught that now. I'm. I'll let you go first. Picking this one.
20, 27-23. 49ers win it.
723.
It's gonna be close. It has to be, and the betting odds say that as well. And the I can't believe the 49ers are minus 140. The Rams are plus 120.
Well, I mean, I'll say this: Niners have had their number of late, and the worker season finale last year and that Rams win early in the season notwithstanding, and they've had success in December under Kyle Shanahan and out to a good start. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I would agree it's going to be a close one because again, the NFC West is still up for grabs. I mean, it's anyone's division. It's not like Seattle's running
Yeah.
away with it, like the record.
No.
And
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Um, man. So I'm honestly ready to get to the last one and make our predictions because I'm out of breath. I'm out of ideas. My brain is about to explode. Out of excitement, obviously, but
no, that's just what I love about the NFL this time of year. All the games that got a lot of playoff implications on the line. Having said all that, these Monday night matchups will be a little easier on our predictions record wise, especially this game.
yeah, yeah, the Vikings should win this one with these 34 to
10,
17, excuse me.
17. Okay. Yeah. Well, the Bears did give them a run for the money towards the end of their last game, but then they Vikings prevailed in overtime. Also, they beat Bears beat them on Monday night last year in a rather low scoring affair, 12-10. I'll get to that in a moment. So anyway, Vikings, this will not be close. You will win this one hopefully convincingly. Got you still have a shot at a division title, so win here helps out a lot.
Yeah, so I'm ro- I think a backup team that I'm rooting for would honestly be Minnesota.
I would agree with that. I mean, that's how they're playing. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, who else?
So
Harrison Smith's on that team, and the defensive coordinator. He's a tough man. So many names you got to remember, but Brian Flores. I mean, he's got a great defense up there, up for a head coaching candidacy potentially. So we'll
yeah,
see.
Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, like you said, Cam Robinson.
Andrew Van Ginkel, who's by the way, Pro Bowl voting is still underway. Last to December 23rd. So I know we got to make our votes. So everyone else out there, make, submit your ballots. Got 2 weeks. before the voting
Just,
closes.
yeah, just about. But the betting odds is going to close pretty quickly. Plus 250 for the Bears and minus 300 for Minnesota. Um, yeah, I if Chicago wins this game, this would probably be the upset of of the week.
That and the game in Cleveland, but yeah.
Most definitely. Okay, it's been a long one. Oh, we got one more. Okay. Oh, Falcons. You should win this one with these.
Yeah,
28, 28 to 12. Something weird.
and there you go. Yeah, and Raiders haven't beaten Atlanta since 2000, and I don't think that's going to happen. I'll wait another at least 4 years before they can do that. And so yeah, it's 16. And Kirk Cousins, yeah, hopefully you can doing much better Monday night of late. And that was your big bugaboo early
Yeah,
on. But
yeah.
also a
He,
sneaky revenge game because Desmond Ritter will be under center because he used to play for the Falcons. And yeah, Michael Penix, if things don't go well, we might see you sooner rather than later.
hopefully, well, for the betting odds, minus 225 for Atlanta and the Raiders plus 190. So it's kind of similar to the Bears Vikings team that we have on tap uh, in our previous slide. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be a dogfight for the NFC South because I think I have Tampa Bay winning.
You did, yep. We
Yeah.
both did actually.
hmm So I mean, there's no way in hell that the Panthers are going to climb all the way back in it unless something drastic happens to those two up front in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and also I had to sneak in the Desmond Ritter revenge game because he can Alan Connell's done for the year as his Gardner Minshew. So Ritter's got something to prove on the national stage against his former team, and so is Kirk Cousins because he's getting warm in Atlanta, and Michael Penix, who they drafted in April. I mean, that there's talk to putting him in the lineup. Things don't change for Mr. Cousins. So I haven't settled that. Longer episode, unfortunately, but again, a lot of matchups, a lot of things discussed. So that wraps
Yeah,
up for this
19.
week.
Yeah, 19 slides this week. So
Thank you.
Amir, it would make it 20 because we gotta do we gotta do our prediction.
Oh yeah, forgot all about that.
So as
So
Amir gets the new slide, yeah, 20. And
yeah,
I'm gonna say there's 16 games on tap, right?
yep,
12-4.
12-4. I would go 12-4 as well because all the bye weeks are over. So I haven't settled that, folks. It's gonna be an exciting one for week 15 NFL. So that's a little longer than usual, and I'm gonna do some editing as well. But anyway, enjoy the games this week. Lots of good ones, especially the 425 slate and the primetime games. And I know Monday games don't look advertising on paper, but anything can happen on Monday night. And Chris Berman once said, that's why we play the games. So,
So with that being said, I can't say it any better than that. If you like what you see, feel free to give us a like, drop down below for more. Follow us on Instagram at Doubleheader97 and on Spotify at Doubleheader Podcast. Follow us on our Wix website for more information. And with that being said, my name is Keenan Costain. He is Amir Daniel. And enjoy the games and have a great rest of your week.
mm-hmm.